So these are the set of colors which I have taken. Ultramarine blue, cerulean blue and titanium white. So as you can see, I have already coated this canvas with the cerulean blue, and now while it is still wet, I am going to add the ultramarine blue and the cerulean blue once again by mixing them together. So now I'm mixing the ultramarine blue and the cerulean blue together and applying them on the topmost part of the canvas, making sure I take more of ultramarine blue and less of cerulean blue this time. And with the help of a flat brush with very soft bristles, I am trying to blend this color together so that the gradient that happens, or that the gradient that forms here, it looks very gradual and not very abrupt. I'll take more of some ultramarine blue and gradually working the lather a stroke that actually helps in blending the colors. Here I am using both the vertical strokes and the horizontal strokes to basically form a sort of smooth transition of the colors, that is from cerulean blue to the ultramarine blue here on the top. Important thing to remember here is acrylic colors that they tend to dry off very fast, so we need to be very quick at this point. And this is how we do the sky. We paint the sky. Okay, this is done. Now I'll just wash off my brush. Take another brush. This is from Brustro and in the number 6. I dip it in water and make it wet. Never ever use your brush while it's dry. Always make sure to wet your brush, to dip your brush in the water and gently shake off the extra water. So now, since I have got the required amount of wetness in my brush, I take some of the titanium white here and I am directly dabbing it on the wet canvas. Take more of the titanium white and just dab on the canvas. So this is how we start the clouds. This is how it is actually started. This is the base of the clouds that I'm going to paint. So I'm going to make some flocks of clouds here and there. Okay, so I just work on the dabbing part here. And one more thing which I would like all of you to remember, that the clouds that we paint in the sky and the way how we see it is, the bigger size, the clouds will have a bigger size at the top of the sky, and while we go down towards the maybe the land or the horizon, the clouds they try to appear a little smaller than the clouds at the top. So as in when we go down, I am going to paint the clouds in a smaller size like this. The more I go down, the more smaller the clouds appear. Somewhat. Okay, so this is the idea. Now, some people they take a blending tool or maybe a Q-tip in that matter, but I feel comfortable with my fingers because I feel this is the most like easiest tool, because you have the complete control over it. You can have the required amount of pressure, and this is actually fun. So this is how I just try to blend the clouds a bit. So let me tell you here that we are not yet done. This is just the beginning, and let us all not judge it at this point. I take some water in my finger because this part of the color has actually seemed to dry off. Okay. I use my ring finger here because apparently this is the finger which exerts the least amount of pressure. Okay. Somewhere here and there. So now we will just leave it to dry for some 10 minutes and we'll come back later. Okay, so this is semi-dry right now, and this time I'm taking a lot of white, titanium white. Keeping in mind I take more of color and less of water in my brush, and I just try painting the middle portion of all the clouds in this manner. The idea behind this is to just make the clouds look little cottony, so it should look little fluffy. I'm going to do the same thing for all the clouds over here. Take a lot of white. And always remember, the brush that you use at this point should be super soft. The bristles should be super soft, so in order to attain this effect. Okay. So now I'll turn to my finger for the rescue, and use my ring finger again and try blending it in this form. Yeah, I have also taken some water. Try blending the white color, like do not dab directly on the white paint, but then somewhere nearby, like the adjacent sides of the white painted part. This is to give a realistic effect to the cloud, because as you can see, the clouds are not very uniform. Some part of it is more brighter than the rest of it, so I'm just trying to make the middle portion a bit brighter than the side portion. Trying to make these clouds at the bottom little more fainted. It should not be very prominent than its bigger counterparts. So some part of the sky appears to be really blurry, mostly near the horizon. There should not be any harsh strokes of the brush. I'm just trying to make everything little smooth and fluffy. idea behind me using my finger at this point to blend all of them. Okay. So we are getting there slowly. Okay. Taking the brush again with the same amount of white, titanium white, and painting it all over again on top of the previous layer. This time I am not taking any more color in my brush, and I am just trying to use the color that is remaining in the brush to make some patterns like this. As you can see, these are some parts of the cloud that are not very prominent again, but they are still there, and we don't want it to be more white or more bright. If you happen to have more color in your brush, you just wipe it off and then come back again. So at this point, I would like to use an Q-tip here. Everybody has it, right? So this is, I just dip it in water and try to blend the tiny linings of the cloud here and there, which I have just painted. Here I use a Q-tip because now the area or the surface areas where I'm covering, they are a little less than how I would want it to be when I use a finger. So when I use a finger, I tend to cover most of the surface, but when I would like to have intricate focus on some part, I use the help of a Q-tip. And some of it I'm just trying to add to the fluffiness of the clouds. Generally, when I start painting, I'll not have the complete picture in my mind, but I'll have a vague idea of what I'm going to paint. Okay, so after this has been dried completely, as you can see, I'm going to take more of titanium white right now with the same brush and making the highlighted portion even more highlighted. Do the same thing for all the clouds. color seems to get over in the brush, like maybe it gets faded a bit. This just adds a bit more blending into it, so the effect which you're going to get is still better. So do not take more color in your brush at this point, and try to work with the color that is already there on the canvas. With circular strokes like this. So we are leaving this kind of part, this tiny part of clouds non-highlighted. Blending some colors from here and adding it over here. Again, making sure not to take more color in the brush right now. Said that the difference between a good painting and a great painting are 5 strokes. So that is up to us to determine which are the 5 strokes that actually is the game changer here. Those needs to be the bold strokes, as they say. My finger a lot. So I am one of these messy artists who do not mind getting colors onto my hand and my clothes and everywhere. I'm a messy kind of a painter. As you can see here, as I try blending the cloud here, the strokes or the effect that is getting produced here is very fine. I mean, it is very blurry and without any visible strokes of the brush. So this is the kind of effect which is desired, and that is why I have been telling you multiple times that we should use a brush which has a softer bristles like this. Take more white this time. Okay, so now at this point we are going to do some very fine detailing, and for that we are not going to take any more colors in the brush, but as you can see, the colors in the brush here, it has almost tend to dry. So this is the exact amount of color wetness which I actually want in order to do something like this. I'm adding more of these the cloud streaks near the main flock or near the main block clouds in this manner. You can use your fingers to just little make it blurred. Able to get the desired effect with the brush. So do not mind me fumbling while I talk and I paint. Okay, So I have zoomed in a bit so that you can see my strokes more clearly. So always try to blend more near the sides, near the edges, and less in the middle. White, dip it slightly in water, take some white, and try to highlight more, highlight some more. Favorite part where the color just glides on the surface because you already have a layer of color beneath it. So when you want to apply more pressure on the brush, you hold it near the tip, you hold it here, and if you want to have a very loose, a very not applying much pressure on the brush, and you want to have a loose painting, you just hold it far away from the tip, that is near the middle, or sometimes I even hold it at the end to just make it very loose. So that was a small tip. So the more you blend, the more realistic this painting becomes. Do not be afraid to spend more time in it. Don't be in a hurry. As you can see this cloud here, you can see how highlighted it is because we have chosen to highlight this some portion near the middle, in the center of the cloud, and leaving these sides here a little more dull. So if you want to paint clouds realistically, this is the basic technique that we can use. So blending is key. When I find some harsh strokes from my brush, I just dab it with my finger and make it a little blurry, as you can see. Alright. Some more white. So it's a sunny day, cloudy sky, and I'm not trying to make any clouds that are more dark or that appears a little blackish. It's more of a sunny day painting. Of course, I'm not painting the sun right now, but then the cloud appears to be the sky appears to be very bright along with the clouds. They're more white and more cotton candy kind, right? not worry if you just happen to mix, or if you happen to add colors somewhere you are not willing to, but there is always a scope to change it or to modify it. There are no mistakes in art. At least that is what I believe. Okay. I could just keep on doing this all day long. I really don't know when to stop, but the basic painting which we were supposed to show today, or which I was supposed to show and paint today, is done. Rest of it is like just trying to be more satisfied with it. So the next time you do a cloud painting, make sure to observe the sky very carefully. You can also have a reference picture while painting it, or you can take a photo of your own and just try painting the clouds. Try painting it as you see, of course keeping in mind the basic techniques, but the idea should be totally yours. Okay, so this is how a basic cloud painting is done in acrylic colors. So here I have used heavy body acrylics, and just let me bring it closer. You can take a small brush. I've taken a 00 brush here, and I'm trying to make some very minute details here and there, so that we can show some of the clouds a little bit more defined in shape. Okay, so after a little detailing done, we are finally done with the picture. So in order to see it clearly, always place your canvas or your paper against a white background. So in this case, I'm just taking a canvas sheet and placing my painting over it, so that you can see, you can have a better look of the painting, how it looks like on the wall. So that's it. This is how I generally make cloud paintings, and we can always improvise on it. There are some like the clouds have different types. The one being the rainy day clouds, the other being the sunny day clouds as this. There are some clouds that appears to be pinkish or purplish because of the evening hue into it. So that is like the ones which are in the sunset kind of a landscape or a seascape. So yeah, I'm done. Hope you guys like it.